Funky.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Behind the bar with me this evening. I could be lying to you. You don't know if it's evening here or not, but it is. So tonight we're checking out a beer. We're going to go ahead and go Ricka Ricka Re-Review Remix. Hashtag Re-Review Remix. That was weird. Tonight I'm doing Single Shot by Treehouse. I believe I've reviewed this beer. I'll be honest, I didn't go back and look, and maybe I didn't, but I've had it many times. So this is Treehouse's Coffee Milk Stout, coming in at 6.4%. A really, really good, easy drinking coffee milk stout, except last week canned 422. So yeah, about a week ago, week and a half, 2 weeks ago, they did a vanilla bean variant where they added vanilla beans to their coffee milk stout. In my opinion, Single Shot is probably the best milk stout I've ever had. It's coffee, it tastes just like a cold brewed coffee with cream. It's freaking crazy. So we'll get this poured out into a glass and see what we think. It's actually been a while since I reviewed Treehouse beer. Poured that a little aggressive into my Treehouse glass here. Many fingers of kind of a mocha cinnamon head. But really just kind of a almost pitch black stout there. Not really I'm getting a little light on the edges, kind of that like maroon burgundy edge on the kind of black stout, brownish, maroonish. Looks really good, but pretty typical killer looking stout in the glass. I mean, especially for 6.4%, the head retention is ridiculous. I mean, it's hanging on for dear life there. But yeah, just looks killer in the glass. Yeah, looks amazing. I'll be honest with you, like the basement, like just was opened up with the aroma of this beer when I opened it, which to me is crazy for a 6.4% stout. That's awesome. But let's dive in and see what it smells like. Yeah, it just smells like just a nice cold brewed or like French pressed coffee with like just a little bit of like kind of like a lactose sweetness, like kind of just like that milky creamer like coffee smell, a little bit of roastiness from the malt. But I mean, this is definitely a really nice, not overly bitter or green pepper smelling coffee. Just like the perfect coffee aroma. This smells incredible. This is a beer I would totally drink for breakfast, and I'll be honest with you, I actually have. It smells amazing. Just due to Treehouse and the elements in this beer and just stouts in general, I have had this sitting out for about 30 to 45 minutes, letting it get closer to room temperature because it was in the fridge. It smells awesome. Huge nose for a 6.4% stout like this. It smells awesome. Heads down to where it's kind of going to be drinkable now. I mean, good lacing on the glass as it came down. Just looks amazing. Huge shout out to Lido for hooking me up with this. Yeah, can't wait to dive in, guys. Let's see what we think. Cheers. Yeah, so trying to temper my my reaction real quick, so I can tell you what I think about it. It kicks in. The nose follows. I mean, the taste follows the nose perfectly. It goes right in like that nice coffee, but not overly bitter coffee. It's definitely like a cold press or cold brewed or French press. It's not just a pure like soaked bean, because like when you do coffee beers certain ways, you'll get that overly bitter green pepper fajita, people call it, just like overly bitter. And it's the reason I've said it in the past, I don't really like coffee stouts a lot. Oh, excuse me. Nose itch. I don't like coffee beers a lot of times because people don't use it properly, in my opinion. I just had a beer this last week, last Sunday actually, and this is being reviewed on a Thursday. I don't know when I'll post it, but that like it was, and I'm actually going to get another bottle to do a review, so I don't want to give away what it is, but just almost mind-blowing coffee stout for me, because it was just creamy. It was not overly bitter. The coffee just blended in perfectly and added an element to the beer instead of taking it over with bitterness. And the milk stout, like that lactose like element of this beer, just gives it this creaminess. For 6.4%, it makes the mouthfeel feel thicker than it probably really is, because this has a medium to medium full mouthfeel. Medium. I'll definitely give it a medium. But a good amount of roastiness from the malts and from the coffee, and great carbonation, just kind of bubbly across the mouth. And I've held this off till last because I love this beer. In its original form, is just single shot. And when you add the vanilla to this that this has, it's not overwhelmingly vanilla. This is not like marshmallow fluff vanilla, like a Bourbon County vanilla stout, or like just like almost like vanilla extract into a beer kind of stout. It's really subtle on the end and just adds a nice sweetness that blends perfectly with everything going on that I already described with the coffee and the milk stout elements of this. I'm going to be completely honest. If I gave this to you blind and I had... we'll say what I was going to say and then I'll kind of come back. If I gave this to you blind and you were drinking it and I had you guess ABV, I think just based upon the amount of flavor that's packed into this beer and the amount of like the level of mouthfeel and just everything going on, you would probably swear that this was like a 10 to 12% stout, or 9 to 12%. It's the same kind of feeling that I get from Good Morning, which was like or double shot or triple shot. Those are like 8%, 9% stouts, and you have those, and it's just like, this is crazy how much flavor they're getting compared to like people that like want to do these like 14 and 15% stouts, but like you can get so much intense flavor out of these. It's awesome. So what I was going to say is I had the beer that I was describing just a minute ago that I'd had that was like this beautiful coffee stout that I can't wait to review on the channel. I had this, spoiler alert, I actually drank a growler of this. I hadn't had a can yet, but I'd had a growler that I split with some friends at a tailgate, where we drank this other beer and this. And the other beer was like 11%, 12%, and it was killer and it was fantastic. And we had that first and then we had this, and I kind of expected this huge drop off, and it held its own for a beer that was twice the ABV. And that's just seriously impressive to me, or impressive. This is, the vanilla on the finish of this just makes this, I mean, this is, to me, and again, I'll go back to discussions I've had on this channel in the past where I talk about beer is so subjective. There's going to be people that are going to try this beer and they're going to freaking not like it because they just don't like stouts, or they don't like the style of stout. It's not barrel aged. It's not what they want. It's not enough. This for 4 is frigging incredible. It's incredible. Like, as far as like amongst style, like if I'm comparing this to Bourbon County, readily available everywhere year round, once a year on Black Friday, that beer's 100 for me. It's awesome. I love Bourbon County. It's the best widely available stout that exists, like massively wide available. Like compared to that, like this has got tons of flavor, but it maybe doesn't have the complexity of the barrel aged beer. But if you're comparing this to non-barrel aged stouts, in its category at 6.4%, this is the best I've ever had and probably ever will have. I've kind of felt that way when I had single shot to begin with for a 6% stout or 6.4. It's ridiculous. But then you have something like this where they add the vanilla and just kick it up just a smidge more. This beer is ridiculous. And as it warms, the vanilla comes out even more. And it's just this, it's so, I would pound these. Like if they sold this in 6-packs or 4-packs, I would buy it constantly. It is that good. Sorry, I get a little, giddy's the wrong word, but like when I have a beer that is something that you wouldn't expect to be just crazy world class, like, and then you have it, because to me this is a world class beer. I mean, for 6.4% and everything it's trying to be, it is the best at what it does. In its category, it is 100 out of 100. Overall, it's not 100 out of 100 for me, but if you're comparing it to style and anything else that's similar to it, crushes all of it. It just does. You won't find a stout like this that's better, at least in my opinion. And again, that's my opinion. It's subjective, but this is so good. I mean, I've crushed this on camera in like 5 minutes. so ridiculously good. So good. Yeah, so as far as, I mean, I think I've given enough of my thoughts on it. As far as a rating, world class, I mean, this is 97, 98 for me, which for this style of beer is just crazy. This is the best version of this style of beer I've ever had. And it's not, I don't even think it's close. I mean, the vanilla, the coffee, the vanilla is so subtle. Like, and I know from the growler that I had, as it warms up, the vanilla becomes even more prevalent, like as it gets closer to like room temp. Like right now, I'm probably in that 45 to 50 range on this, would be my guess, which is a great drinking temperatures for this, like right around that 50. But as it warms even a little bit more, it's just, the vanilla, it just smooths everything out. It's creamy. It's this beer is killer. God, I hope they keep making this. Wow. That is so good. It's dumb. It's just dumb. That is it. I mean, a 16 ounce can. I emptied that thing down to the last half a glass here. So good. Yeah, if you can get this, guys, it's been out for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, but I know it's out there. It's selling on secondary right around 25, I think, a can, 20, 25, 30, somewhere in there, which is dumb for anything. Don't do that. Don't ever do that. But if you can trade for it and get it, and you know somebody get it, if you like stouts, and God, this is so good. I love this because I can drink this whole can and want to drink another one. Like when I drink a huge stout like Bourbon County, by the time I get to the end of that 500 milliliter bottle, like I'm done. Like I'm done. But I could seriously sit and just annihilate a 4-pack of this. I could just annihilate it. So I'm going 98, guys, and that might just be me getting overwhelmed. It's not overwhelmed, but just this beer is just making me. It's so good. It's damn near perfect for what it is. If it's not perfect. It really is. So, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. It's fantastic. 6.4% Treehouse single shot with vanilla bean. Leo, thank you again very much, sir. I greatly appreciate it. And get excited, guys. We may get to see another crazy beer review. I don't know if you guys have watched my Jester King Synthesis Inaugural video, which was back in like the 20s or 30s, I think, or something. Maybe a little later than that, but sorry, dog's chewing on a bone. That might be happening again here in a couple weeks. I'm heading up to Boston for another arcade event. But everybody that was in the last video that got crazy, that's like 20 minutes long and just insane, all of those people are going to be here again, Leo included. So hopefully we'll get together and have a great time. We got cabins down by a beach on a lake up by in New Hampshire. So it's going to be a great time. And Leo and I are actually going out to Treehouse together and going to Trillium and doing stuff. So I'm going to shoot some video while I'm out there. And we're going to do a lot of cool stuff. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Don't know why I brought that up in this video since it's still about first weekend after Memorial Day. So we're not too far away. But anyways, back to single shot, guys. 98 out of 100. Thanks for the likes, subscribes, and comments. And until next time, cheers.